Right now, a local business owner has to clean up damage again after a driver hit their shop for the second time this year.
And a student group on the UW campus is raising money to put more potentially life-saving AEDs in residence halls.
Plus, we're looking at the difference and expansion of Wisconsin's treatment courts and diversion programs will make.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
Thank you for joining us tonight. A local business is picking up the pieces for the second time this year after a car crashed into their building again.
Jamie Press spoke to the manager, who is actually thankful this time around. She joins us now with why and also has a look at the damages. Jamie?
This business is DiRienzo Monuments, and it sits at the corner of a busy intersection along Regent Street. Now, this is the second time this has happened this year. The first crash happening on the coldest day last year. Today, the manager explained why she was actually relieved when she saw the damage from the crash this weekend.
We've been on the corner for over 100 years.
DiRienzo Monuments is a monument itself, one that's all about making memories.
We make monuments for the cemetery, civic memorials, pet memorials.
Suzanne Boucher manages the work here, and while she helps others preserve their memories, she's making some negative memories of her own for the second time this year.
Yeah, so just this is the handicap ramp to my back room. Nobody will be using it for a few days, maybe even a few weeks.
Over the weekend, a car crashed into the building, a sight that most people would be horrified to look at. But Boucher said she was actually thankful because her memories reminded her of the damage from the first time around.
The last time the vehicle came flying down Speedway, crashed through that window and took out most of our bathroom, and a lot of debris went flying.
Boucher said the first crash in January put her out of the building for 4.5 months. Given the difficult recovery the first time, it made her feel thankful that this didn't happen all over again.
My heart was just pounding. I kept saying, okay, just breathe, and hopefully it won't be as bad. And actually, when I drove up and saw, I went, oh my God, that's minor, just a hole in the wall, you know? I mean, compared to the damage from the first time, it felt pretty minor.
Boucher is able to work through these repairs, but is hopeful that something is done to prevent bad memories from being made again.
I suggested just some red flashing lights to alert people who are coming down Speedway that there's a stop sign ahead. I think they don't see it.
Boucher told me that the person who crashed into the building this second time around is in the hospital and had their car towed. She said she hopes to work with the city in the future to get something done with that intersection to prevent this from happening for a third time.
Yeah, a lot of people know that intersection, exactly where they are. Jamie Perez. Jamie, thank you.
Sure.
Beloit police have released the name of the victim killed in a shooting over the weekend. 34-year-old Dawan Buchanan was shot before 4 a.m. on Saturday on Newfield Drive just east of the Rock River. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. Law enforcement is searching for 2 vehicles believed to be connected to the homicide. A silver SUV and blue Volkswagen sedan both may have broken windows. A $30,000 cash bond has been set for the man suspected in an attempted homicide outside an East Madison bar last month. 32-year-old Donald Lewis was arrested in connection to the shooting at Club Lamarck on October 26th. A 36-year-old man was shot outside the club and showed up at the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police obtained DNA from the shooting scene and matched it to Lewis. He will be back in court next week, Tuesday.
A woman has been charged in connection to the death of a 26-year-old Juneau County man. A medical examiner found that Jason Daly of Necedah died from blunt force trauma. According to a criminal complaint, a deputy visited his home because he hadn't been to work in 2 days. Daly's girlfriend, 27-year-old Crystal Ferris, said she didn't know where he was, but 25 minutes later, the deputy came back, found Daly's body with visible head injuries. Ferris was found unresponsive herself and on top of a 2-month-old baby with a bag of pills next to her. She's been charged with first-degree intentional homicide, hiding a corpse, and also neglecting a child. The man who fired shots inside Vision's nightclub last December has been sentenced to 10 months in jail with Huber work release and 4 years probation. Now, if he violates his probation, 36-year-old Cole Foster will serve 4 years in prison. He was found guilty of first-degree reckless injury and endangerment, plus other charges back in August. 4 people were hospitalized in the shooting. A 5th person was stabbed.
To weather now, quiet out right now, and warmer temperatures will make for a more comfortable week. But light snow and freezing rain in the forecast could make for a slick morning commute. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti has those details. Gary?
We're going to have to keep an eye on it for tomorrow morning because difference in temperatures could make a difference between slippery roads and roads that are just wet. On Doppler track, you can see the precipitation from the west. It's actually ahead of a warm front where we've got some light rain across parts of Minnesota and Iowa, but by the time that precipitation reaches us, temperatures will be right around freezing, and there's the possibility of some light freezing rain over parts of southwestern Wisconsin and some light snow from Madison northward. Computer models showing just a little bit of that, but it could be enough to make roads slick. Notice the difference in temperatures. Right now we're at 33 in Madison, 31 at the Baraboo Dells Airport, so temperatures just fluctuate by a degree or two, and that could make the difference in precipitation type. Most of it will be from late tonight into very early tomorrow morning. It should end, and then road conditions should improve as temperatures climb to a high tomorrow of 39 degrees. Later on, I'll take a look at the forecast. It does include some melting snow as temperatures get up into the 40s.
Dane County will soon open a new mental health resource center.
One of the top needs identified by all who have examined this challenge is that of a universal access point. In other words, a system in which any door one enters is the right door.
The Mental Health Universal Access Resource Center will help those in need of care, their family members, and providers navigate healthcare networks and share resources. It'll be funded and operated by Dane County. The county will also pay for crisis intervention training for all police, fire, and EMS personnel, so they're better equipped to respond to mental or behavioral health calls.
There are 21 residence halls on the UW campus. Only 6, though, have automatic external defibrillators, or AEDs, in the event of cardiac arrest.
A group of students is working to change that and raise awareness about the importance of heart health, even in young people. Amanda Quintana is here now with those details. Amanda?
The student organization Cardiac on Campus raised the $1,200 to purchase an AED for the Whitty Residence Hall, giving the more than 1,200 students who live there a chance of survival if they go into cardiac arrest. This is the third AED purchased by the group. They've also CPR certified more than 600 people, including residence hall supervisors. The group was founded by 2 cousins in 2015 after their cousin and brother, who was just 20 years old, died of cardiac arrest.
Focus on reaching your 20-year-olds and your college-age students because they don't view it as a priority, and it had a massive impact on our family. And it's a catastrophic event in the life of any family that loses a son at that kind of age because it's not something that you see coming.
The group says while some Big Ten schools require AEDs in each residence hall, UW does not. Each minute defibrillation is delayed, the odds of survival are reduced by 10%. That's why the organization is working to get AEDs in every residence hall. They're hoping to donate more in the coming months.
New at 6, a 17-year-old Sun Prairie student is facing terrorism charges. According to a criminal complaint, Gabriel Pierre told a staff member at the Early Learning Center that he wanted to be a shooter and planned to use his next paycheck to buy a gun. The teen's mother told police his father had hunting rifles in their home, but that they're locked up in a safe. He faces up to 3 years, 9 months in prison. Governor Tony Evers told reporters today he will not call a special session on gun control anytime soon, but he is keeping his options open for the future. The governor says he is disappointed in Republicans' lack of interest in gun control after gaveling into a special session earlier this month and immediately gaveling out without debate.
Looking ahead, more Wisconsinites will have access to treatment court and diversion programs. Today, Governor Evers and Attorney General Josh Kaul announced an additional $1.5 million included in the state's 2019-2021 budget to allow non-violent offenders suffering from addiction or mental health issues a safe alternative to jail or prison. The Adams County District Attorney says in her 15 years of experience, there's no comparison to those programs.
No one wakes up and wants to be a criminal or addicted to drugs. Those things are the result of many things that happen to people before they enter the criminal justice system. And nothing that I've seen has allowed them a more meaningful opportunity to address their needs with the help of a team of professionals.
Attorney General Kaul says the programs will provide a better outcome for public safety, helping those suffering from addiction to stop committing crimes. He says it will also save taxpayer dollars by keeping people out of correctional facilities. New treatment court and diversion programs will begin with the Ho-Chunk Nation and also in Dorr, Juneau, and Lafayette counties.
Rose Schmidt explains how OWI offenders in Lafayette County will benefit. Rose.
Yeah, Lafayette County leaders point to research showing that the best way to keep people from repeatedly driving drunk in Wisconsin isn't to keep them in prison longer, but instead give them an alternative to learn how to lead a sober life.
We have significant alcohol and drug issues in Lafayette County.
It's an unfortunate reality Judge Dwayne Jorgensen sees from his bench in Lafayette County Circuit Court.
It doesn't make us unique. I think that's the case all the way across the state of Wisconsin.
But there's a new school of thought about how to help people through addictions.
Primarily, first thing you want to address is try to stop the use, try to stop them from getting behind the wheel. Also address the issues that may be behind that.
A state grant of more than $118,000 will help give Lafayette County leaders the funding they need to start an OWI court, which will provide an alternative to incarceration for repeat OWI offenders.
We have not seen where putting people in jail over and over has really made a big difference in them.
Sheriff Reg Gill is hoping learning to maintain sobriety will help them lead better lives.
You know, when we start seeing third, fourth, fifth, sixth offense, obviously they're not making a change. So hopefully maybe through a use of a program like this that we can make a change in their life.
There are still some details to iron out, but the OWI court will take about 10 offenders at a time. They'll go to weekly treatment and behavioral therapy, as well as subject them to random drug testing.
It's easy for them to be alcohol-free while they're locked up in jail, but the minute they get back out, they tend to go back to their same lifestyle.
Several nearby counties, including Iowa, Grant, and Dane, have these courts. And starting in July 2020, Lafayette County residents will be given that same chance.
This is research and evidence-based, so we know that this approach works.
This treatment program likely would not be targeted at first or second-time offenders. It'll take about 18 months to complete, and the grant money will pay for a new staff member and breathalyzer and drug testing.
All right, Rose, thank you. Next at 6, the Overture Center is preparing for a busy few weeks as Hamilton, the musical, takes center stage. What you should know before you head to the show.
And Fitchburg police say they'll never forget the kindness of an 8-year-old girl who passed away from a brain tumor this weekend. How they're remembering Emma Mertens and her love of dogs tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
Hamilton, Broadway's hit musical, is opening at Overture in Madison tomorrow.
Gabriela Becerra joins us from outside the Overture Center with some information guests will need to know before the show.
Hamilton is drawing large crowds in every city that the musical is visiting, and so the Overture Center wants to remind ticket holders of a few details before they head downtown. It suggested that if you're driving, you show up a little bit early and plan for parking. Most of the shows are expected to sell out, which will make the parking situation a little bit tighter than usual. The Overture Center ramp is located between Mifflin Street and West Dayton Street.
Expect parking to be a little bit of a challenge, so maybe get here early to make sure you get a spot, and also expect some extra security measures in place because Hamilton wants to make sure that everyone's safe when they come and attend the show.
Guests can expect to be scanned by a non-invasive wand for prohibited metallic items and bag checks. Any prohibited items will be removed from the premises. Doors open to the lobby 90 minutes before the show, and the theater doors open 30 minutes before the show. Hamilton will be here from November 19th to December 8th.
Gabby, thank you.
Coming up in sports, after breaking a college football rushing record, Badger running back Jonathan Taylor talks about the importance of living in the moment.
And you might want to plan on some extra time for your drive to work or school tomorrow. Gary says light snow or freezing rain could make for some slippery spots. His first alert forecast is next.
Shop.
Breaking news just into our Channel 3000 Alert Center. Human remains found in Nebraska last Friday are believed to be that of one of the missing Wisconsin brothers. According to the Lincoln County Sheriff's Department, a rancher near Hershey, Nebraska, found remains in a tub in a stock trailer that was recently purchased in Missouri. Brothers Justin and Nick Diemel of Juneau County, Wisconsin, were reported missing back in July. A Missouri cattle farmer has been charged with first-degree homicide in that case.
Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joins us now, and we got to pay attention to what's happening for tomorrow morning.
You know, hopefully it won't be too big of a deal, especially on treated roads, but Roads that don't have any salt or chemicals on them could become slippery. We have an alert day in the forecast for tomorrow for light snow, some light rain, or light freezing rain, depending on what the temperatures turn out to be. And that could lead to slippery roads. And the timing is just in time for the morning commute. By mid-morning, temperatures should start to climb above freezing, and the road should improve pretty quickly after that. If we take a look at Doppler track, nothing over southern Wisconsin. This precipitation is aloft, but this is light rain that's reaching the ground. It's actually ahead of a warm front where temperatures are in the 40s out to the west of it. And as that warm air rides up and over the cold air near the ground, some of that rain will change over to some light freezing rain or light snow. And you can see this on future track beginning early tomorrow morning as that mix of precipitation approaches the Mississippi River where temperatures are right around freezing. Notice here in the Madison area, temperatures around freezing. North of Madison, temperatures below freezing. South of Madison, at or slightly above freezing. So as that light precipitation moves in, and this is the very latest computer model run, it's now starting to back off a little bit on the precipitation, but it brings it through pretty quickly. By lunchtime, it's already off to the east, and notice where temperatures are, back into the upper 30s. So hopefully that should limit the amount of freezing rain and snow that we see. But there could be a couple 1/100ths of an inch of freezing rain, enough to make sidewalks, secondary roads, side streets icy if they don't have any salt on them. And snowfall amounts generally less than a ½ inch in most areas, mainly north of Madison. But again, with temperatures below freezing, that could lead to some slippery road surfaces. So 3 things you need to know in the forecast: that mix of precipitation near sunrise tomorrow. But after that, we just see cloudy skies with temperatures close to 40 for tomorrow and above 40 for not only Tuesday, but for Wednesday and Thursday as well. And even at night, those temperatures will stay at or above freezing. So that could melt a lot of the snow that we have on the ground. And then some light rain from Wednesday night into Thursday also helping with the snow melt. Over the next 10 days, temperatures get above freezing, in fact, above normal by Thursday for the first time in over 3 weeks. A little bit of a drop-off in temperatures on Friday, another bump in temperatures for the end of the weekend, and then a drop in temperatures as a storm system affects us for the area for the time just before the Thanksgiving holiday, and that could lead to some slippery road surfaces as well. Almanac for today: high 35, the low 33, so the clouds have kept temperatures nearly steady. We're at 33 now with cloudy skies. The air is calm, so there's no wind chill to speak of. For tonight, look for cloudy skies. Again, that light mix of precipitation toward morning, low temperature at 31. Once the mix of precipitation ends, we'll stay cloudy. High temperature, though, climbing to 39, and that should melt the snow and ice. Future track, again, that mix of precipitation coming in early tomorrow morning, moving on through, and then just cloudy skies for the rest of the day. Look for temperatures to stay at or above freezing tomorrow night. And on Wednesday, temperatures will climb into the lower 40s. And as we check out the freezing rain amounts, again, very light. Snowfall amounts light as well, but enough to make roads slick in some spots. 7 to 10 day forecast. We have the alert day in the forecast for tomorrow morning. That warm up for Thursday and Friday, a warm up toward the early part of next week, and then a storm system to watch as we head toward Thanksgiving.
Jonathan Taylor is just a junior, but will Saturday be his last home game at Camp Randall? We'll hear from the record-breaking running back in sports. If the Badger football team beats Purdue this weekend, they'll play at Minnesota next weekend for the Big Ten West Championship. Today, they announced that the Wisconsin at Minnesota game in Minneapolis, November 30th, will be a 2:30 p.m. kickoff with the game televised on ABC. Again, this Saturday, Wisconsin hosts Purdue on Senior Day. But it could also be the last home game for two of the Badgers' top offensive stars. Running back Jonathan Taylor and center Tyler Beloit are juniors, but both could opt to the NFL draft after this season. Today, Taylor and Beloit said those decisions will come in time.
Oh, it does enter your mind, you know, because it's talks. It's going to be around, just like Heisman and awards in the season. It's always around, but that's the thing. You got to make sure you focus on the task at hand, because if you look at the end of the road, then you could lose yourself on the way to the end. So you got to make sure that you stay locked in.
I haven't thought about that. I mean, I think that's more for the off season, after the season. But honestly, right now, I'm really like 100% like focused on how, like I said, it's our control, and that's the only thing that's worried about for me.
The Badgers have two Big Ten football players of the week. Aaron Cruikshank, the co-special teams player of the week. He returned this kickoff 89 yards for a touchdown in the 37-21 win at Nebraska. And Jonathan Taylor also named co-Big Ten offensive player of the week today. The Packers are back at practice today as they prepare to play in San Francisco Sunday night. The last time the Packers went to the West Coast, they laid an egg against the Chargers. This time, they won't go out a day earlier like last time. It's all business against the 49ers.
This time around, we have to show up and we have to play well. Obviously, against a really good 49er team, you know, top in their division, probably #1 seed, I think. So, you know, hopefully we show up and show out when the time comes.
You know, Charlotte DeLeste and Kevin Lewis at our station are big Marquette basketball fans, and it would be easy to stick it to them after the Badgers beat the Golden Eagles 77-61 yesterday at the Kohl Center. But what fun would that be? Well, I went to Wisconsin. I guess that would be kind of fun. In any case, the Badgers held Marcus Howard to 6 of 21 shooting, and Brevin Pritzel had a double-double, 15 points, 13 rebounds as the Badgers stopped a 2-game losing streak to Marquette.
Seeing the struggles that we had, you know, Coach Gard kind of highlighted on the last couple of days and really led into us to know how we had to change. And it's always good to beat in-state teams, and especially Marquette. You know, it's a very big rivalry, and it was just really good to see us come out and execute on everything that he kind of led us to.
You know, Marquette hates Wisconsin. Wisconsin hates Marquette. But after the game yesterday, Marquette's head coach Steve Wojciechowski made it a point to compliment Greg Gard and the Badger program on how they've dealt with the Howard Moore family tragedy.
You couldn't even imagine what that would be like. I tried when I heard of the news to put myself in his shoes, and what he's done with his kids is incredible, because for 18 to 22-year-olds, let alone a grown-up, to handle the tragedy that they've gone through is absolutely incredible.
And that's after his team got drilled, so classy move by Wojo.
Absolutely, yep. All right, Gary, final check of the forecast.
Rain's still out to the west of us, but when it reaches us, it could be in the form of some light freezing rain or light snow by tomorrow morning. Keep that in mind for tomorrow's commute.
Well, thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Have a great evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.